Hello and welcome back to Growers Farm. It is August the 21st and my name is James and yeah, today we're going to hook up the mowers to our T6 here and get cutting our grass fields. We're still a little bit away from our harvest at the moment. The crops are not quite there yet. We've got a week or so. The thing is, we've got a week or so before we've got some rain coming in. It's probably just enough time, especially if we ted it, to make some hay. Doing it early autumn, we might even end up with another cut right at the end of autumn, just before winter gets started. So what I'm trying to do is we're going to get this cut, we're going to get it tedded. Mark's going to come out and ted it later. And then we should be in a position where our farm is in good stead for getting some hay bales now and some silage bales later. Now, it is a little bit of a Hail Mary, this. Our grass is grown, but not fully grown. So it won't be quite as much of an amount as we might get otherwise, but it should still do us well. It should still give us some hay bales, and we're in a position absolutely where we need some hay bales at the moment. So let's turn on the rear, switch over, turn on the front. Perfect. Down we go. So there's the front down and the back down, and we are all good. So yeah, this should allow us to get a decent cut in, and possibly in a second cut. And this is the thing. We're trying at the moment to get the most out of our farm we can. We are in need of these hay bales. So you know, we've got an absolute abundance, as you can see over there, of straw bales. Of silage bales. So getting hay bales to match would be perfect. The grass is just about dry enough. As I said, we've got a good few days drying as well, and especially if we help it along with the tedder, we should be absolutely fine. But it is just this thing of I've been saying for a few of these vlogs now that we need to get. The hay cut, and if we don't get hay, what we can do is we can do silage bales and sell the silage bales. So my thing at the moment is I'm just trying to get hay bales made, because we need them. Both our sheep and our cows going into the winter will need hay bales. If we can do this, then that'll be good. The other thing we have to worry about is if we're doing silage bales because it's a wet summer. And it's going to be difficult. Everybody else is going to be doing the same, so we have to make sure that we don't end up with no hay bales at all, or hay becomes expensive. That would be the other thing that would do us in. An expensive set of hay bales would kind of negate the whole reason for doing what we're doing. So yeah. I think if we can get our fields of grass cut and made into hay while we have this opportunity, then it makes perfect sense for us to do it. So that's what we're going to be doing today, getting field 6 here cut and doing that. As far as our crops go, our crops are looking pretty good. We got a couple of patches where the recent heat has meant we've lost a little bit of crop. You always get a couple of patches in crops, really, but yeah, this is one of those things where you can't really avoid it. Oh, I managed to get around that corner without losing any grass. That's good, or missing any grass, I should say. Let's lift that up. And we can get around this corner, because this is a tighter one to do. Right, and right up to the back, and away we go. Perfect. So yeah, it looks like there's a fair amount of grass here. It is nice and dry, which is always a good thing. And we should end up in a position where we have plenty to work with. I need to reverse this up though, because yeah, we have missed a little bit. There we go. So yeah, and then we got to once we got this cut, as I said, Mark is going to be here later. He's going to come and get the rest of this, or get this field tedded up. We'll leave it for a few days, and then the two of us will get rowing and baling, probably in about 4 or 5 days time, if the sun holds out. We're going to give it the maximum amount of time we can. So yeah, it's probably to be a late day job as well before the dew sets in, and then that just gets it done before that rain comes, which is just going to destroy any chance we have of getting a good hay crop off here. So yeah, it's all about that at the moment. It's all about trying to get this to work in our favour as much as possible. And doing those things on the farm that we can do, that means that we get away with as much as we can. This is actually our smallest grass field, field 6. It makes a perfect field for me to vlog, because obviously I then don't have to worry about it taking too long for me to do with you guys here. Even though it is one of those longer jobs for us to do with the width of this. Although interestingly enough, the width of our cutter here, the width of this is wider than our combine. So yeah, you know, it's all swings and roundabouts. Now I'm sort of trying to straighten the edge out here. It makes it easier for us in the longer run, just to sort of be driving straight along these edges. The place where we do need to absolutely make sure that we sort of cut the extra bit is in these corners, because this is the bit where we're going to be doing the turning around when we start heading into the field. There we go. Down we go, and away we go. And if we get this right, we might get the whole of this in one go at this end of the field, because this little bit at this end of the field is yeah, is sort of a little bit of extra really. Never really produces that much, but at the same time we do want to cut it because it does at least produce something. And there we go, that has done that rather nicely. And again, we've not missed anything, which is good news. Now I think this is enough space for me to turn around. Yep, it is. So we'll start straightening out this edge, and then once we straighten this edge out, what we'll be able to do is start cutting into the field. And the reason I cut into the field with this is because it's easier for me to line up that left-hand edge of this mower than that rear right-hand edge. So if we can open up the field and open that up, that just works so much better for us than trying to line up along that back edge all the time. It just makes so much less work for me. So let's do that and lift up, and we combine like this as well along the longest edge. So down with this, take us round to 90 degrees on our compass. Easiest to go left to right. There we go. And in. Leave it there. That will run very nicely along the side. And if we can get this run right, if we can get the position of this run right, it just makes it easier for every other run we do on the field. And this is how you always do it on pre GPS. You try and set your compass point, or you set a target at the far side of the field, and you try and keep as straight as you can on that. because that just then makes your life so much easier. The other way to do it, the way you do it when you're in a combine, or used to do it in a combine, because care wheels are so much better these days, is that you would put in is that you would follow the tram lines of your sprayer, and that is has always been a good way of doing things. There we go. So now you can see, much easier to keep our alignment on that right hand or left hand edge, and just means that we can now move at a decent speed with this cut. And this is really quite efficient, these pottinger mowers on this T6. Works very, very well with it. And the other thing is, it gets easier and easier as you go, as you're able to open this up. And I think we're only going to end up having, look at where I've cut in here. We're only going to end up having a couple of cut-ins, which is good for us. And should work quite well. There we are. Straight over the lip and towards the yard. And break and up. And back down again. Perfect. Got a very nice big pile of manure there. That is going to do us quite well. We have run out of straw bales, which is slightly worrying. I was hoping in the next few days that we were going to get the harvest started and get some straw bales in, but it looks like at the moment we're going to be a few days without it. It's not the end of the world for the cows. It's not great. I need to get some fresh bedding into them. But, yeah, at the same time, probably need to buy some bales in. Just to sort of cover the next few days would be quite useful. And if we can do that, then the cows will be much, much happier. So I think I'm going to get some of those ordered today. As I said, I was expecting my harvest to be coming along a lot quicker. I was expecting to start in the next sort of 2 or 3 days. I thought we were only, as I said last time, I thought we were only a week away at most from getting into the harvest. And testing the crops today, it just has not shown that. I think we're probably still 2 weeks away. I think we're going to be into the sort of the second week of September. And this is the thing with doing crops. Even in the lowlands here, this is the thing with doing farming this far north, is that sometimes the crops just don't ripen as early as they do further south, and you have to keep an eye on that, and you have to keep yourself in a position where when it does, you are all hands on deck, and you just get your crop in as quickly as possible before sort of the before you get into winter and you find yourself you know, doing harvest in November and December. That is just awful. I mean, we're fine doing our potatoes as late as that, and it could quite easily be that we are doing our potatoes as late as that, but we don't want to be taking that long to be doing our grain crops. That would just be yeah, that would not work out well for us. Right, we want to cut in again. So let's come about here-ish, I think. Yep, that is as a good centre line for where we are. And we want 270 because we're coming from the other end of the field. Slight adjustment. There we go. And away we go. Just keep it as straight as we possibly can. Right, so we're aiming for just to the left, just to the right of that tree at the moment. There we go. Yeah, that branch there. absolutely perfect direction for us. And as you can see, it's pulled us across the field quite nicely, like so. And again, we're now able to line up our left-hand side of our mower here, and just keep opening this field up and keep some nice straight rows, because that then makes it easier to bring the tedder in, and makes it easier for Mark on that job. It makes it easier for us on things in general. If he's here, actually, I might send him over to do our other fields with this mower. And then we can get the tedder out, maybe. Yeah, get that round there. There we are. Looking good. This will be a good cut of grass here, and if it dries enough, it'll be a really good cut of grass. And I think we're far enough ahead of when we're going to be, and how is it going to be for the rain for us to actually get this. Very, very pleased. Right. Yeah. I think we should show you guys. I should take you guys through the tedding process as well, actually. So we'll have this finished in a bit, and then I can show you guys absolutely what we do that way. Let's just get up to the end of the row here. Lift up, because we don't want our front to do. Yeah, and then backs up as well. Down again. Yeah. We have something I haven't forgotten about, but we're still holding on to, is we've got all of the wool from this year. The wool prices have been absolutely astoundingly bad this year. I've never seen them quite as bad as they are. So we're holding on to the wool at the moment. I'm hoping for a price increase. We'll see what happens, but yeah, they just seem to be dropping lower and lower at the moment. Normally you get a good wool price, maybe, or the wool price peaks a little bit in the spring, just before shearing, actually, interestingly enough. So yeah, we're holding on to it a bit until then. Hopefully it will be good and everything. We've got it nice and dry in the shed and everything, so it's not gonna degrade at all in that time. But at the same time, yeah, we need to get it sold, really. It'll bring in a nice amount. We had a bumper wool crop this spring, and I'm kind of guessing that might be the reason why wool price is so bad at the moment, is that if everywhere had a bumper wool crop like that, then there's just a flood of wool on the market at the moment. So yeah, and with people holding back, we've got to wait for that to clear, and hopefully people will go, oh, you know, we need the money, we've got to get it sold. We're fortunate at the moment where, because we're a mixed farm and we're looking at sort of getting our harvest in and getting that sold soon, we can hold on to the wool for that little bit longer, and as a result be in a better position to sell it at the best price when demand is that little bit higher than the supply. But yeah, not all farms are that fortunate. It's very difficult these days to have a little bit of money behind you. Farming is one of those things that's in an interesting place. There we go. We are, and yeah, we're down to our last, as you can see, our last few grand in the bank. But we have a lot of, as I said, we've got a lot of stuff that's available to us, that's about to pay off. So this is the time of year where the money is at its worst. Always the money is at its worst at this time of year. And it doesn't really help that our dairy herd is fairly new and isn't going to start paying off with milk and things until New Year. Next year is going to be absolutely crucial on this farm. We've got our dairy cows. We'll have our first calf spawn. We'll have our we're going to have a bumper sale of wool. We've just got all sorts of stuff. That is really in our favour going into next year. However, we've got to get there first, and a good harvest is what's going to get us there. Without a good harvest, we'll have to cash in our wool crop earlier than I would like, and as a result, we'll be in a position where we won't make quite as much money. We do, of course, as I said, we have stuff about. So we've got all those silage bales as well. So we've got way more silage bales than we'll need. Means that we can we'd be able to cash in on those if we needed to. Right, I'm going to take this back to the yard. We will drop this off. So let's just switch it all off. And we'll fold it up. And then when Mark comes in later, he can grab this and go and start attacking our other fields. But I wanna get the 7840 out. Sorry, the 6810 7840. That is our yard tractor. Our 6810. I want to grab that and get the bits or get the tedder on the back of that. I'm gonna have to do some work with the cows later. You'll see in a minute. They've been a bit messy with their food, so there's some work I need to do in the yard later for that. Let's start up our little 6810. So this little 6810, our oldest tractor on the farm, massive number of hours on it because it's the tractor that has been around here longer than any other. Lots of could do with a complete. Someday I will do this up and it'll be a good museum piece. But at the moment, she's chugging along. She's doing work very nicely around the farm. She doesn't cost us more to have than she brings in. So, all good. Right, there we go. We'll hook this up. And this is our little class tedder. There we go, and away we go. And this, with this, will just fly around the field. Not a huge amount of horsepower, and just sort of will work nicely. Work very nicely for us. So I'll get it unfolded. There we go, and it does about the width of our mowers. Interesting enough, we kind of buy these things to match up like this, but it always surprises me a little bit when it works quite as well as it does. And this normally means if Mark had actually been able to be here this morning, he could have just followed me around the field, and we could have got this done at the same time. But this will go round. Now the beauty of doing it this way and having this is that it means that while I can't see out the back exactly where the how far we've got on the field, because obviously it's difficult to do that, what it will allow me to do is with width like this, we can do our two headlands, and then we come around and then we can just go up and down the field and match the rows as we go up and down the field. So it just works absolutely wonderfully in this way, and it's just a great little tractor to have out and to use. I love this little 6810. I grew up with this little 6810. This was the first tractor I ever drove on the farm, and yeah, many years ago. There we go. And yeah, it's just kept us going. We did have its big brothers at one point. We had a 7810. We had a 7610 and a 7810 on the farm. And they were lovely little tractors as well. Of course, say little these days because their horsepower was not huge, especially compared to today's modern tractors. And we are for a farm, we have a fairly low horsepower selection of tractors. We're not, you know, lots and lots of what you'd call a mid-range tractor these days. Quite often they have more horsepower than even our biggest tractor that we use on this farm has, which is amazing to think. There we go. But yeah, this little tractor does this kind of field work quite well. You guys have seen it doing windrowing as well. We tend to use this as our tractor to windrow with as well. Right, that has got that finished. And we'll do the same as we did with the mowing. And start. Oh, no. As I said, same as we did with the mowing. We'll miss a row if we do it there. So start off here, drop it down, and away we go. So there we are. That is basically my process for doing the haymaking. Fingers crossed we will do okay from this and get all 3 fields cut in time. I'm gonna leave you guys here and get this job finished, and yeah, I'll have a word with Mark later, and we'll get the rest of these fields cut and tethered, and hopefully then we'll get a good week's worth of drying off, and we'll check in on that in the next vlog. And I think next vlog we'll take a little bit care of our animals again, and check in on this, and then when it comes to getting this baled, rode and baled up, we'll get that done in a vlog as well, so you guys can see the whole haymaking process we do on the farm. Because I'm not sure we've not actually had a successful haymaking process since I started making these vlogs. So yeah, I think we'll document that at some point as well, providing we're successful. Otherwise, we're just going to be rowing and wrapping them. But we'll see where we go. For now, though, all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. And for all the latest videos from the farm, please subscribe to the channel and ring that bell. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.